Hello student, today I'm going to discuss a new topic called reproduction. Now, the process of reproduction, you know it, it's a very essential process for all the living organisms. It can be plants, it can be animals, and it can be even for the microorganisms. When we say reproduction, we know that a living organisms give rise to a new individual, or we call offspring. Now, why this process is very important? Why all the living organisms, they reproduced? Okay, you can see an ant, you can see a mosquitoes, okay, you can see a plants, you can see even birds and animals, you can see even human beings. We all reproduced. We all give rise to a new individuals. So why the process of reproduction is important? The first point is we always want to multiply, okay? Multiplications and the maintenance of the identity of the species. The first point is maintenance, or I'll say multiplication and maintenance. Okay, the identity of the species. Identity of the species. So every living organism, okay, it can be plants, it can be animals, we all want to multiply. And we want to, we want to maintain the identity of our species. Second point is variation among the individual species. You can see a lot of variation. You can see among your parent, okay? You can see your brother and sister. You can see that we are not identical. But that may not be observed in the case of plants and other organisms, like single-celled organisms like amoeba. But in a simple form, we can say that the process of reproduction is important. Why? Because it gives variation among the individual species. Among a family, we are not exactly the copies. Okay, among the, like if you compare to your parent, your father and mother, and then you compare yourself. And when you compare, you find that if you compare among your own siblings, like your brothers and sisters, you find that there is a variation, there is a changes. We are not identical. So the process of reproduction is important because it provides variation among the individual species. The third point can be, because of the process of reproduction, there is an inheritance, okay? There is an inheritance of the character. A plant may be short. You can see that when a plant gives rise to new, the same plant will give rise the exact copy like the parental plant. If a plant is tall, you can see that their offsprings or their new individuals, okay, will be exact from the parental cells. It means that the character is inherited from the parent to the offspring. So I will say that it provides inheritance or inherited to the next generation. Or I would say to maintain or to make up, to make genetic makeup or genetic constitution. Genetic constitution. So whatever the parent have, those character it transfer from the parents to the offspring. And it will keep on going from generation to generation. It is all because of the process of reproduction. In a simple word, I can say that reproduction is essential for the continuity of the species. Okay? If I don't get married and if I die, for example, it means that my species or my generations will be lost. Okay, so every living organisms, that is the reason that nature had selected, okay, the theory of Darwinism also speaks about that. Every living organisms, they multiply, they want to reproduce. Okay, so you can see even bacteria, they multiply. You can see even plants, they can multiply. You can see even any kind of animals in our surrounding, but still they're reproduced. Usually the process of reproduction is of two types. That is sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. This topic is very important. Sexual and asexual reproduction. Two types of reproduction. Asexual and sexual type of reproduction. Now, what does it mean? When we say asexual, it means that it is uniparental. Uniparental. It means that there is no male or female, but there is only one parent. So when I say uniparental, it means that this type of reproduction will be occur only by single parent. It means it is only, there is no male or female. But in sexual reproduction, it is biparental. Here you will find two types of parent. One will be considered as a male and one will be considered as a female. So in sexual reproduction, that's why the reproduction occur because of these two organisms. One is male and another is female. So biparental means two. Okay? So in the type of sexual reproduction, a single parent cannot reproduce. They need both the parent, that is male and female. The second point is, when I say asexual reproduction, it is a very simple and very slow, fast process. Okay, simple and fast process. We're going to discuss the type of asexual reproduction. Why is it simple? Why is it fast? Okay, whereas in sexual reproduction, it is complex. I can say it is elaborate. And it is a slow process. You know that every living organism, we compare human being, to reproduce a new organisms, it takes 9 months, it takes 7 months to give a new individual, right? So it's a very slow process, okay? It's a very complex process. So under sexual reproduction, we find that this is very complex and very slow process. The third point, very important. Here you will not find, there is no formation and there is no fusion of gametes. Does not involve formation and fusion of gametes. Whereas in the case of sexual reproduction, involved. I'll just write involved because in sexual reproduction, it involves, there is a formation and there is a fusion of gametes, that is male gametes and the female gametes. The male gamete is said to be the sperm and the female gamete is said to be the ova or the egg. So this is very important processes. Here for giving rise a new individual, a male gamete and the female gamete is required. They must be fused, they must be fertilized to give rise to new offspring. The fourth point, very important, you can see that I will use the term as clones. Okay? Here, why did I say cloned? Because the offspring that is produced by the asexual reproduction, I'm repeating again, the offspring means the new individual, For example, your mother and father, and you are the offspring. You will be considered as the offspring. So the offspring produced by the asexual reproduction will be the exact copy. It means that the exact copy means identical, same. The exact copy of the parent. Then we can consider as cloned. Okay, I will say identical. Okay, identical means the same character, the exact character from the parents. Whereas in sexual reproduction, you will find variation. The offsprings, I will write simple process as variation. When I say variation, it means that the offspring will have a character as same of the, will have the character, there will be no identical, okay? Not identical. It means that there will be a variation. The offspring will not be exact like the parent. Some character will be transmitted from the parent to the offspring, but it will not be identical. So the process of sexual reproduction is very important because it gives rise to evolutionary processes. Evolutionary. So this is very important for the evolutionary process. Today, if you see new individuals or new organisms having different characters, having different traits, different varieties of plants and animals, it is all because of the sexual reproduction. New evolutionary processes, okay? Changes. You can see so many changes in our surrounding, in our environment. Okay? So there are two types of reproduction to give rise to a new individual. Some you can see asexual reproduction in the case of the lower plants. Or you can see single cells, single cell organism. We're going to discuss the type of asexual reproduction. Which organisms are asexual, give rise, reproduced through asexual reproduction? You can see mammals, birds, like, okay, mammals, birds, they include under sexual reproduction. Let's discuss the types of asexual reproduction. So there are various types, but I'll discuss 4 to 5 types. Most important one. So the types of asexual reproduction. Types of asexual reproduction. Number 1, fission. Fission means the splitting of parental cells into 2 or more daughter cells. Splitting of parental body or parental cells into 2 or more cells or 2 or more individuals. Okay? So under fission there are 2 types we call binary fission and multiple fission. Multiple fission. Binary fission means the splitting of the parental cells into 2 daughter cells. Let me give an example with the help of a diagram. Okay? Now, if you see these parental cells, just say that this is a parental cells. These parental cells, it's a parental cells, there is a nucleus, okay? I'll consider this as nucleus. Okay, now what will happen? They will divide. This nucleus will divide into 2 daughter cells. So see, these 2 nucleus, the nucleus will divide into 2 daughter cells. Later on, this because this is cytoplasm, right? So this cytoplasm also will divide. So this is called binary fission. Parental body will split, its nucleus will split, and later on even the cytoplasm will divide and it gives rise to new individuals. So this comes under asexual reproduction. Now in the case of multiple fission, this is example you can see in amoeba or paramecia, okay? Same as in multiple fission, very common in the case of multiple means plasmodium. Just say that this is a plasmodium cells. What will happen? These plasmodium cells will start multiplying. It was a parental cells. Now you can see that, you can see so many cells started multiplying, and later on they burst. Later on the parental cells burst, and then you can see that many new cells from the parental cells, many new cells are formed. Okay, give rise to within the parental cells, many new cells are multiplying. Later on, these parental cells burst, and every cells they give rise to new plasmodium cells. So it comes under multiple fission. Example, plasmodium. This is a case you can see in the case of malaria, where the Anopheles mosquito reproduced through the means of asexual reproduction in our RBC, red blood cells. And while bursting of these cells, we feel chilled. Okay, we feel chilled, and that chill is because of bursting of the cells. That is plasmodium cells. So this is a kind of fission. Another kind of asexual reproduction is budding, or we can say that second type we call budding. The third type is called regeneration. The fourth type is called vegetative propagation. The fifth type we call spore formation. And the last one we call fragmentation. So student, for this session, I have discussed what is reproduction, the types of reproduction, and the types of the asexual reproduction. In the next class, we'll discuss the remaining topic. Thank you, students.